New polling shows that Bernie Sanders is dominating in the Rust Belt, showing you once again why Bernie Sanders is the most electable candidate in the race. Now, I often talk about how Bernie is the most electable because he brings out independents, brings out young people, brings out working class voters, a lot of people that did not come out and vote in 2016. So the people that voted against Trump in 2016 are going to come out regardless of the nominee in 2020 and vote against Trump again. So the people you have to attract out in 2020 are the people that did not vote in 2016. There's about 40% of the country that doesn't normally vote. And that is a lot of young people, a lot of independents, a lot of working class voters that have felt disillusioned by this two-party system. Bernie Sanders speaks to those people. Now, let me show you some of the polling here that backs me up. So this is this is the Sanders versus Trump swing state averages. This is Real Clear Politics polling averages. And Sanders beats him in every state except for Wisconsin, which is the one state where no other candidate right now in current polling, except for a poll I'm about to show you, is defeating Trump. So Trump right now has a real stronghold on Wisconsin. But Michigan, Sanders dominates Trump here. See 48 to 48.8 to 43.5. Ohio, see again, Sanders wins 49% to 46.5. Minnesota, 49 to 40. Wisconsin, again, as I told you, 45.5 to 45.5, so they're tied there. And Pennsylvania, 47.5 for Sanders and 44.5 for Trump. Now, let me show you a more recent Wisconsin poll. So that was a polling average from Real Clear Politics. This now is more recent polling from Wisconsin, and it has Sanders with the lead there. This is for the Democratic primary. Sanders with 29%, Bloomberg at 17%, Biden at 15%, and everybody else under 15%. 15% is the threshold for statewide delegates. So that's really the number here that matters. But most importantly, from that same poll, in head-to-head matchups against Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders is the only one that's defeating Trump in Wisconsin. So Sanders beats Trump here 48 to 46. Trump is tied with Biden 46-46. Trump is tied with Klobuchar 46-46. Trump is tied with Buttigieg 45-45. Trump beats Bloomberg 45 to 44. And Trump beats Warren 47 to 44. Now let's get to Pennsylvania. So this is another recent poll. This one from McCall, The Morning Call, and Muhlenberg College. So here you got Sanders winning against Trump again here by the largest margin. If not the only person, once again, yes, the only candidate once again defeating Trump in a Rust Belt state. So Bernie Sanders beats Trump 49 to 46. Trump is tied with Biden 47-47. Trump is tied with Warren at 47. Trump beats Klobuchar by 1. Trump beats Buttigieg by 1, and Trump beats Bloomberg by 3. Just as an aside here, Bloomberg is definitely the worst candidate to go up against Donald Trump. Out of anybody, like I've discussed how Biden will suppress the vote for Democrats, but Bloomberg especially, more than anybody else, would absolutely suppress the base. Young people will not come out for Bloomberg at all. Working class people will not come out for Bloomberg at all. Bloomberg would be a horrible candidate, so let's hope we don't go down that path. But you see here, once again, Sanders being the only candidate defeating Trump in Pennsylvania. Let's go to this. So this is a University of Wisconsin-Madison. So this is their poll on various Rust Belt states. This came out, just to get the date here, February 23rd. So this is only about a week old. Let's go down to what they found. So in all the states here, you see Michigan, who leads? Sanders with 25%. Pennsylvania, who leads? Sanders, 25%. Wisconsin, who leads? Sanders, 30%. Sanders beats every candidate in these Rust Belt states, showing you again where the energy is. The working class energy is with Bernie Sanders. Let's move on to this next piece here. So this shows you how Bernie Sanders doesn't have a ceiling. You'll hear on cable news, oh, but are people really going to show up? Is Sanders going to be able to expand his base of support? Yes, he is the most popular senator in the Senate in the country, and he has the highest favorables. So check it out here. This is an Ipsos 538 poll among Dem primary voters. Sanders, a plus 39 favorable. Warren, plus 33. Buttigieg, plus 33. Biden, plus 31. Klobuchar, plus 22. Steyer, plus 4. Bloomberg, minus 1. Once again showing you Bloomberg, the absolute worst candidate to go up against Trump. One more piece of evidence here. This is an Economist YouGov poll. National Dem voters say who they are considering voting for. Again, showing you Bernie Sanders has the highest ceiling, if a ceiling at all. 49%, half the party, is saying Bernie Sanders. Joe Biden, 38. Warren, 38. Buttigieg, 24. Bloomberg, 21. Klobuchar, 18. Steyer, 8. Gabbard, 5. And Sanders with the biggest jump here in support as well. So he's not only like winning these polls, but his support continues to increase. So this just goes, all of this data goes to what I've been saying forever. Bernie Sanders is the most electable candidate because he's able to bring out people that did not vote in 2016. He has this mass appeal, and a lot of it, I mean, you can attribute that support to many different things. His authenticity, his 40-year fight of basically fighting for the same thing for 40 years, being one of the few voices and one of the few leaders on issues. The fact that he's been a lifelong independent, that speaks to a lot of people. I mean, I've shown this over and over again. I don't have it ready here, but if you look at Gallup, there is polling that dates back years, where or how people self-identify, either as Democrats, as Republicans, or as independents. The plurality of people identify as independents. The recent poll, I think, is around like 44% independents and then 27 for Democrats and Republicans. Most people identify as independent because they are tired of this two-party system. They see two parties representing the interests of wealthy people, of corporations, and they don't want to be a part of it. So when they see Bernie Sanders, a lifelong independent senator, somebody now as the potential choice as the Democratic nominee to go up against Donald Trump, that brings out a lot of people that have been disillusioned by this two-party system. So whether it's that authenticity, whether it's him being a lifelong independent, whether it's obviously his policy platform of fighting for Medicare for all, fighting for free public college, higher wages. I mean, go down the list. Bernie Sanders has the most progressive, or I hate using these labels, but really it's the most humane, the most humanitarian platform out of anybody in the race. And he's the only candidate taking climate change seriously. And his Green New Deal plan also takes care of blue-collar workers that will be affected by the move towards renewable energies. So if you have a job, say you're just a blue-collar worker working in the oil industry, you will be taken care of with full pay for 5 years and training in a new position, likely in renewable energies, during that transition away from fossil fuels. So he's the only candidate with a plan like that. This is why, part of the reason why he has so much support from the working class, because he actually thinks about the working class in all of his policy proposals. So again, when we're talking about electability, and like, it is so, I should say this as well. It is so rare to have somebody who is the most electable also have the best platform, because usually it's one or the other. Usually don't get both. But even beginning in Nevada, so there was exit polling in Nevada. People said, what do you care more about? Or who do you think is the best to defeat Trump? And who aligns with you most on policy issues? Bernie Sanders won both. People align with him on the policy issues, and they also think he's the best to defeat Donald Trump. So as the country is becoming more aware that Bernie Sanders is the most electable, they're beginning to realize they no longer have to compromise with him. So once again, Bernie Sanders is the most electable candidate. All the data shows us this.